Adventure. It seems to be the new most popular word for two-wheeler brands in India, and the latest entrant is the Suzuki V-Strom 250 SX. It's the third 250cc offering from the Japanese brand for the Indian market and its most affordable adventure bike yet. With the V-Strom 1000 and the 650, it has already established the rugged family name in India, and we are sampling its 250cc offering today in the mighty Himalayas. Exciting, right? But things don't look too rosy for the V-Strom 250 because the specs aren't too impressive. So does it have the Suzuki magic and prove that numbers don't tell the real story always? Or is it different? I'm going to start this review with styling, as Suzuki designers have nailed the brief. The V-Strom 250 looks like a proper scaled down version of its elder sibling. In pictures, I thought that this motorcycle looked a bit small, but that isn't the case. It looks big, has presence, and made onlookers curious wherever we went during this shoot, and for most of them didn't believe that this is a 250cc bike. The design highlights of the bike includes the tall windscreen, and positioned below is the bright LED headlight. It is the same unit that we have seen on the Gixxer, and it is interesting how Suzuki designers managed to make it work on the V-Strom. The large beak and the fairing give it that proper V-Strom DNA, and the tank blends well with the fairing. The split seat add to its bulk. The exhaust muffler is the same unit as seen on the Gixxer 250s but gets a black finish. The taillight is the same LED unit as seen on the older Gixxer, while the chunky grab rail adds to its tough character. One more aspect where the V-Strom impressed us was in the quality department. The paint finish is beautiful, panel gaps are tight, switchgear looks robust, and you wouldn't find any loose wires. And despite riding the bike over some really rough roads and rocks, none of the panels showed any signs of abuse or rattle. So good job, Suzuki. The new bike is based on the same platform as the Gixxer 250 siblings and shares the same engine and specs. Given their strong all-round performance, that's not a bad thing. Suzuki engineers haven't altered the gear ratios either. At lower revs, the engine feels a bit peppy and the first two gears are short, while the tall third gear means you can trundle at city speeds easily. But there is a flat spot in the mid-range, and overtakes will require you to downshift. This flat spot also means that mid-range performance is poor and you will have to work the engine a lot if you have a heavy wrist. You see, the 250cc engine is very composed in nature, which means you'll have to be a bit patient for it to gather momentum. While this easygoing nature will not be appreciated by all, but for touring it actually works, and the V-Strom 250 kind of reminded me of the new classic 350. Just like the Royal Enfield, the air feels serene while cruising, and this chill nature makes touring effortless and enjoyable. So if you want thrilling performance, this 250cc engine will not impress you, but as a tourer, this is really good. We hardly encountered any strays, so we can't comment about its touring capability, but you could feel a bit of vibes at 100 kmph. The 6-speed gearbox is slick and the clutch action is light. There are two aspects that help the V-Strom nail the experience as a tourer. First one is the seat. Not only is it spacious but also well padded. Yesterday we rode for over 8 hours on the road, and not even once did my bum went numb.
I gotta run it, and I've done it. Keeping it 100, 200, it's like a running.
The other bit that adds to the comfort factor is the ergonomics. The riding posture is upright and comfortable. The handlebar is nice and wide. The foot peg is center set, so you sit upright, which means you can munch miles effortlessly. Another aspect is the fuel tank. The shape of it is very nice. You can grip it properly and you feel that you're sitting inside the motorcycle and not on it. While the V-Strom does look big, but once you sit on the motorcycle, it doesn't feel intimidating like most adventure tourers. What isn't comfortable is the 835mm seat height. I'm 5'10" tall, and it didn't bother me all the time, but on inclined surfaces and dabbing my foot through traffic, it did make me feel a bit nervous. To give it some off-road cred, Suzuki engineers have given it a 19-inch front wheel and off-road centric tires, while the suspension travel is the same. So can you realize your Dakar dreams? Nope, don't even think of it. The V-Strom at best is suited for the trail and does a good job on the broken roads. The front suspension is compliant, but the rear is firm. So on sharp bumps, potholes and on rocky surfaces, the bike feels a bit nervous. So if I had plans to go to Ladakh, I wouldn't be too excited, which is a bit disappointing given the V-Strom moniker. So if you're looking for a pakka off-roader, look elsewhere. One aspect where the V-Strom 250 doesn't feel nervous is in the handling department. It feels confident and predictable, and I had a wonderful time on the mountain twisties. The most impressive bit is despite running a 19-inch wheel, the front end is so communicative and it feels as if the bike is riding a 17-inch wheel. Also the tires. Now they have an off-road pattern, but they offer you loads of grip. Braking too is one point. There is a slight fork dive, but the brakes offer you positive bite and feedback. The V-Strom 250 misses out on switchable ABS, but given its limited off-road ability, I don't think the rider will miss it much. Before we head to the verdict, let us check out its features. The V-Strom 250 isn't a perfect bike. It doesn't have proper off-road cred or offers you outright performance. The seat height is worrisome and the flat spot is irksome. But despite its flaws, the V-Strom has that magic Suzuki element, and in its case is its friendly and approachable nature. The V-Strom kind of reminds me of those pseudo SUVs based on hatchbacks. Enthusiasts went after them, but the masses thronged to buy them. The V-Strom is honest with its intent as a tourer, barring its name, which is quite an irony. So if you want a friendly and comfortable tourer that is well built, has the visual appeal, offers you good handling dynamics, and you don't mind paying the extra premium, the V-Strom 250 SX could be your next bike. As for me, I really enjoyed this motorcycle, as even after riding for 8 hours, I didn't feel any fatigue. A good bike at the wrong price.